才能真正的安心。祈愿每位菩萨都是上人心目中的人才。所以我们开始要跟上人撒娇喽，一样的，就是把手放在心坎上，然后跟上人说：“上人请安心，我是您心目中的理想人才。”导播，你要 take 我的画面嘛？好，上人请安心。好，我是您心目中的理想人才，一起来哟！上人请安心，我是您心目中的理想人才。好，看上人怎么祝福我们的哦。好，也翘起你的大拇指，跟旁边遇见的每一个人说：“新年好，感恩你们的读书。”
尔杰师兄，
今天是我们
你再扣他好不好？
的读书会进度来到下支卷的5月1号到5月8号，下个礼拜就5月9号到5月15号。上人做一天，我们老师攻读一天，往这个方向，所有书友跟着一起来，相互激励，说实际，相约文法心笃定，相信自己有潜力，永葆初心。
那个丽莎，你要不要先 cover 他一下？
好，我先要 cover，你们去 contact 好不好？因为我也 contact， 我没有办法 cover 他。
我们希望有更多人
Please jump on and contact him and get him in, please.
啊？什么？
上人，好，贴近上人心，所以 Let's go 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 读书去。那多国英文口译呢？今天是第1周，对不对？应该是第1组吧？啊，结果不是。我们连续2周，上个礼拜跟这个礼拜都由第5周担纲。为什么？因为呢，他们要轮到每个月有5周，他们要有 chance 才可以。但是因为呢，我们1月8号随师菩萨有一个晚上场的，所以由高雄的主场这边的口译团队来，所以他们就是
洪凯师兄已经进来了，可以开始了。
各位。在线上的书友，他们连续2周为我们口译，所以我们的掌声要大到不得了！掌声感恩宝如师兄、丽珊师姐、洪凯师兄、雷阳师兄，他们4位人少少，但是连续2周，棒棒棒哈，非常的感恩。那我们非常在这边告诉所有线上的书友，我们1月8号，1月8号的时候。
Okay, January 8th. Yeah, welcome everyone to join a very special session in the night. The Friday night. So 6:30 we will have a preparation and 7 will start the real session.
还有进人以及师丹有7位会帮忙接力。
So there will be 7 senior volunteers will share their story with the masters.
所以团体做事则永恒，个人做事则无常。大家一起来，个个是人才。这都是我班级经营的时候用。
Yeah, so if we do everything as a team, then everything will be fine.
那我们现在很快的要跟大家回应一下，热烈掌声响起，感恩上线最踊跃的大陆家人。
So big applause for the mainland China family.
打破我们1月10号即将有机会跟上人温馨座谈，请大家连线跟我们在一起，去感受到这个读书的正能量。也许我们会说到您的故事哦。那
So January 10th, we will have a special session with the master. So please keep it in tune.
所以你告诉我们您在哪里，同时待会在聆听的一个阶段里面，不时的给我们回应回馈，好不好？所以您的转分享很重要。所以如果尤其是高雄
，please share to your friends. So there are 145 times sharing. That's highly appreciated.
对，赶快用最快的速度把它传给你的亲友团，请邀约他们上线，让更多能触及、按赞、转分享。
So now, please like it and share to your friends. It's very important.
首先呢，我们看到团队的一个上下是非常多，400多则，我不可能一一念完。那
So we see like 400 something, the good response and the feedback. So let's share some of those.
To bring Master Dharma to everyone corners of the world. 你就讲到呢，其实非常的感恩，在这样的一个因缘下呢，其实透过这样的一个翻译，可以把我们这里呢，就是传到全世界去哈。然后 Cafe Life， 你非常感恩你哈，你就我所讲的说 why， 还有how这边呢，你也写了一段英文哈。那你在这边的时候，你告诉我们说，的确，其实用how的 方式就可以找到了一个方法。但是如果呢是用坏的时候，其实呢你只是要去想办法找很多的一个借口。
So if we use a how mindset, then we can find a solution. But if we just ask why, then this won't happen.
Ask ourselves how, not why. Only when once as how can solution be found. The why is trying to find the justification. Once justified, find excuse for ourselves. Once find excuse, I will slacken and complacent. 所以非常感恩大家哈，在这个地方，而我们马来西亚的余国生，你也说非常感恩。
Yeah, thanks a lot. Some feedback from Malaysia.
分享让我们都长智慧了哈。好，那么4号的一个分享也引起非常多的一个回响哈。
So brother 4号's sharing has get a lot of good feedback too.
就一定可以美梦成真哈。那同时间呢，我们今天呢在主场的 Victor， 也就是我们的英文口译团队，今天在主场，可是他们2个呢，时间
So today we have a Victor J in Kaohsiung.
2部电脑同时扣住的，就两岸三地，尤其大陆的家人。大陆的家人，你们好，今天一定要管宣传哈，因为你们的偶像之一石金跟文清今天来到主场，有没有很羡慕啊？改天换你们。
So today, yeah, the Made in China family must be very excited. They're like the main volunteers, brother Victor J and Yao Shijin sister is here.
其实我有去担了这样的一个责任的时候，才会知道哈，所以在这边非常的感恩。那学育的一个分享，也让很多人他的导读哈。那北京的陈林君说啊，学育师姐看起来40多岁。
So this is about Ding Xueyi sisters, the leading of the study group. Please a round of applause.
看得太老哦，你猜猜我几岁？好，高原人府呢也引起非常多的一个回响哈，其中
So brother Gao Yuan and Renfu talk about the music of the Dharma incense meetings.
坚持每天写1首歌，居然写了400多首歌。我想请购他们
The 400 songs have been written by them.
就会一定有哈，所以其实持续简单就是一个伟大的力量了。他们每天就是当做练习，要学他们的老师庄奴老师。
Just keep everything in a simple way. You will be powerful to make things happen. Little by little,
就是点点滴滴
better and better.
你就说 wonderful song and great insights from your songwriting experience, despite the personal challenges. 就是无论挑战性如何，他们就是要练习，把它当做这样的一个练习哈。所以仁府跟高原这边也非常多人给他们这样的一个回应哈。那有
So a lot of good
不知
feedback.
道是身体不舒服还是怎么样，他竟然是躺在被窝里面看直播，也很感动。青儿
So someone maybe a little bit sick, like stay in the bed and watch the study group.
在这个当下，我们的加拿大贝尔就是青山无所争，福田用心，感恩苏营运长青儿用心推动并带给我们巡礼。
So Cai Qin, the sister, talking about the Jinsi bookstore.
就带我们就稍微的巡礼了一下哈。那我们的青儿在这边的时候啊，总之啦，这边写说那个时经就有转说，苏仙不只是卖法品在做慈济，而是在做慈济传递慈济法与传送慈济情。
So Jinsi bookstore is not only like sell the Jinsi product, but also deliver the culture and promote the 慈济 method.
借文清这个部分是因为他们同步转的是我们来自大陆的一个讯息哈。
So right now is talk about the Chen Meihui and the Yang Mingqing brothers.
但是实际上他们2个各有1部电脑，在家里的电脑更是很多哈。那蜀满
So
跟慧凤
brother Jay and sister Yao have both have their own computers, so 2 computers at home.
感恩新加 加坡的春惠，还有新加坡的秋凤，还有于国生马来西亚以及新山的绿云。
Let's show our appreciation to Singapore and Malaysia's
谢谢你们
sharing.
给我们雪龙的丽娟哈，我们好需要你们给我们的一个回信。加拿大的 Bear、Cool Shelly、亮君校长。
So Canada's family.
时值 Winter Break， 终于可以赶上直播和大家一起上线。温哥华，Jennifer。
So Vancouver, Jennifer said right now it's their winter break, so they can catch up the live stream and study with everyone online. Yeah, I think very happy. So United States. So last time Sun Cixi and Geji's brother to share. And now this Taiwan family's feedback. So right now Taipei is very cold.
那维伦那一天是在台北，丽玉谢谢你在桃园，嫦娥在苗栗哈。那绿玉你一直是在泸州，大陆家人不断的掌声响起，好不好
So many China families.
非常的感恩我们的吴慧仙师姐他写了一段长长，因为非常感动，待会再让
very long feedback
这样的一个感动的一个讯息哈。
from 吴月珍
sister， 山东这边也是哈，柳娟谢谢你们
真的山东
的一个方式哇。真的非常的感恩我们所有来自大陆家人给我们满满的一个能量。那这边下面
for positive energy.
4号师兄让我们了解口译非口译团队的用心和不容易，感恩这样的团队让爱。
So the 4号 talk about the interpretation, not only just the language but also the Dharma.
麻烦你 YouTube 留言哈。那我们这边的曲曲你说 grateful to
Yeah, so talk about the YouTube feedback from the English team.
Master Wish realized by Teacher 美云是我们团队啦，就是上人希望我们变空中架桥，变成一个空中读书会，是我们团队把它实施的，并不是我个人哦哈。那我们的雪龙的
thanks to the team to make this happen.
Every Wednesday, we are full of positive energies, and also we share the stories of all the sharers with our friends and the community. 他说每个礼拜三在这边得到的一个智慧，其实呢都会分享给我们的这样的正能量，分享给我们的朋友，还有他们的社区哈。我们北加州的
Yeah, so every time they get this wisdom life, every Wednesday they will share to their friends. So that's very important.
Relies with the effort of the online study group and interpretation teams worldwide. 他讲到的就是说，非常感恩上人给我们这样的一个梦想、一个愿，然后我们整个口译团队呢一起来完成这样的一个梦想。
So thanks to Master to give us this dream. So we vow to make this happen.
是我们新加坡的邓医师，他说 Brad Cole and Brad Lee took up those to secure the proper equipment to write and record songs for 慈济 Truly Mary。他讲到是高原跟仁福，他们两个贷款买一些设备，然后
高原 and the 仁福 brother to buy the equipment and write songs for 慈济。Yeah, very touching. So someone is trying to find a beautiful place, but someone making the place beautiful. You see, it's a flower.
12月29号晚上插了一盆花，就送给线上读书会。
So the Hangzhou sister make it the end of the year and give us the best wish for the study group. Yeah, thank you very much.
待会再来分享，我们直接哈，真的要直接到这里来了。大家有没有看到？哦，我们画面上看到这个人。
So right now is brother Huang Jieqi.
大家都熟，而且他属于冻龄现在。待会呢，我们的全球志工总督导就会跟我们说说话。那我们非常感恩Sixian师兄，其实非常支持我们。
Our international volunteer director Huang Jieqi will share.
全球慈济志工总督导黄思贤特地到
So international volunteer director
一起为强震后的尼
will lead the study group to give the blessing to the Nepal earthquake.
看到的其实是一则新闻，那非常的感恩我们的Sixian师兄啊，就是每一次
So this is die news. So every time the brother Sixian come to Kaohsiung, give us a very meaningful sharing.
所以呢，我们这一次的师贤师兄呢，其实是并没有跟着的，但是没关系，也随时
So
而
although
来哦。所以我们在这边
Brother
可以看到
Sixian not
他这样
following
子
Master this
跟
time,
我们去做这样
but
的一个
he's
祝福，然后奇妙。
really
所
like
以
to
在今
share
天读书会
today.
2010年的第一天，我们当然要邀约他。那他一共只
So the
我们
first
这边留下他的
the
印象
meeting
其实
in
有
the
4个
2021,
那我
of
们
course, we
给
need
最
to
早的
invite
好，
Brother
就是
Sixian to
在
share.
最早的一个的时候，大家可以看到，也回顾一下。那师贤师兄在线上呢，就是也
So
看一
this
下那
is
一天刚好有
the
一联
first
会的
the
师姐来，他们很
Dharma
高兴哦。他们来的时候，
drama.
其实呢就遇到了上人，所以他们也去呢跟上人呢就这样子会面，然后上人也知道他
So
们来
lectors
所以
met
非常的
Master
感
and
恩。
then
那
they
接下来
want
呢，
to
我
share
们
their
的师贤师兄啊，他们就从楼上，然后就走下来了哈。所以呢，那一天我们来看看这样的一个场景，他讲的是
yeah, on that
复
day,
兴世界，
Sixian
而且这
brother
段时
just
间就
walked down from the upstairs. So take photos and keep the records. And the master already taught.
我们真的非常的感恩哦，就是在这样，无论呢，
It's highly appreciated.
非洲，上一次，哎，这个很重要。
So this time is try to turn over the Africa. So this little girl would like to be master's leg, hand, and the eyes. So right now, she already grew up. We can see she's so little, but he really vowed to be master's leg and hands and eyes.
愿意当上人的手跟脚，的确全球走透透，但是今年没办法走出来，没关系。
So Sixian also have the same vow, but since the pandemic, he cannot really go over the world. So that's about. I like to get together with you because you have a positive energy. So now, Father Sixian.
上人、金色师父啊、美云菩萨，还有所有读书会线上的菩萨啊，大家早安、午安、晚安啊。
Hello, international volunteers.
20-30年来，应该是在上人的身边。那下午
Suppose like 20, 30 years, I suppose should be with the master right now. But due to the pandemic, I stay in United States for almost 1 year. Yeah, just 10 more days will be the whole year. So I never miss the opportunity to go with the master for 20, 30 minutes like this. So this is a very long time in like 50 years. Like I'm stay with my wife so long. I think the Kaohsiung study group is really, really good, and the whole team is working very hard and really move a lot of people. So Master is talking us this resonance theory. So you see the thundering. So when you see the lightning, see the lightning, and then you will hear the thunder. So the Buddha is the world enlightened people. So when you know the top wisdom of Buddha, you will see the whole world. Everything is a wave. Normally, it's a sun or light. It's all the waves. So the material and the energy is can be exchangeable. So why the heart sutra will tell us the color of form is empty and the empty is form. So Master remind us no matter whenever we need to keep our or real and compassion and beauty. So Master talked to the overseas volunteers. We are not selfish, but we still keep our ego. We still need to learn how to remove that. When we work on the Tzu Chi things, we'll see like some conflict with people and have a lot of obstacles. So if we go to the Tzu Chi, if we did not learn the Dharma or method, then you will have a lot of problems, worries. If you use like what you did in the people's world, then you have a problem. So you need to learn to get rid of our ego. So it's too big. So the Lotus Sutra is very important. It's tell us like a 声闻缘觉. A lot of the people already in their minds that everything is been done. So I already go to a higher level. And they don't have any worries, so they don't want to like getting more advanced. So it's not Buddha like give them the certification, but it's themselves think they are good enough. So in the Lotus Sutra, you can see the 舍利佛 is try to retreat. So the Master talk about the Lotus Sutra. There is some words very impressive. A word. In our whole life, do you like to like yeah to So Buddha in the Sutra will try to make sure that give a proof like if you guys follow the way I teach you, then you guys will become a Buddha in the long future. You need to practice the Buddha way, like in 6 ways. So here is your New Year present. If you follow the way, in the future life, you will become a Buddha. So the Master bring the student discipline in like 50 years. If you do that, like in the future, you will become a Buddha too. So when you learn the Lotus Sutra, you have the opportunity to become Buddha yourself. You just need to practice and to listen, to think, and to work. And you will feel the happiness wholehearted. So the resonance power is very, very important. So the sister Meiyun is talking in a very high speed, but in this high speed with heal the patient. So Master tell us like between or volunteers don't just line and the text message, there's no depth and no temperature. So previously we kind of eat together and drink tea together. So that's a much better relationship. Yeah. So you see the Sister Meiyun, the host is smile and laugh loudly and praise to others. So a very high temperature in a relationship. So we want to encourage everyone. here your discipline of the Buddha and the Master. So this life you just need to follow the way, and in the future everyone will become Buddha. So this is the Master's blessing and the Buddha's proof. So the Fan Shifu, the Lotus Sutra have a 方便品. Everyone is very important. In the 28th section, the most important is the 方便品. You guys need to understand this thing, the 方便品, then it's a fundamental of the whole 28 sections. So you set a set of the clothes and set a meal, and you need to go to the bookstore to buy this 方便品 book. So as a good student, we need to buy all these books, especially the master's the books. We need to buy this book and study like twice, 20 times. If even you don't know the characters, you don't know them, but they know you. So go, all the volunteers. The message will be in Kaohsiung very soon. Our senior, our master, try her best to teach us. So we need to know and keep the high temperature, your harmony and the Dharma to follow master. And this is my blessing. So health is very important. So cannot catch a cold, no matter the pandemic, the COVID-19. In Los Angeles, like every day, 1,000 people died, and ICU no availability. So every day we try to show our appreciation and have the promote vegetarian meal. So we'll get well blessed. Thank you. So the first time of 2021, the first study session. So we see the director of our international volunteers, Huang Sixian brother. So let's show. So let's try. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Applause.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 他也是哈，所以我们非常感恩哦。其实真的科技结果
So it's highly appreciated. So the technology has a high temperature, high energy.
我们广为宣传，结果来了非常多的线上书友要填思贤吧，结果思贤师兄呢。
So when we tell everyone like we'll have the session, the brother Sixian will share, then a lot of people want to join and listen to his sharing. So right now everyone need to work from home, so the network bandwidth is limited. But this time it's much improved. When we find a problem, no matter whatever country, and we have a way to solve the problems. Although there's a pandemic, we can get together, and the brother Sixian cannot come back to Kaohsiung and follow the master. But we still can see from Sixian from the crowd. So we'll see we are close together. If you think so, let's try again. I want to get together with you because you have positive energy. Okay, so next time let's see you. Yeah, wish we can see you soon in Kaohsiung.
们导读团
highly
队时间。
appreciate.
那导读团队呢上线之前呢，我们回应一下直播。加拿大
So
的
this
管
time
制
is
理事解说
the team
读
of
书会法部
the
司组
study
长
group
增
leading.
长会命传正法育人才无缝接轨哈。那感恩张香桃园区的丽玉，还有呢我们泰国的直管
will spread the Dharma and
法随续人
like
才赞赞，在纽约
teaching
的
the people
正能量的读书会哈，还有给我
the
们
next
团队上
leaders.
慈禧耶，美国的慈禧师姐，但是现在在
So 美国慈禧 sister is in Taiwan.
Linda 你是在北加州，所以非常感恩。也会在日
North
本。
California, Linda
日本
Penn.
团队加起来，我
There's
们
some the Japanese
的
team.
翻译哈。
We wish
好
we'll have a Japanese
非常感恩
interpretation
还有时间已经在组织
for
里
the
面了
study group
大家见
too.
面哈周伟新在北京的周伟新一直在跟我们挥手，我们也跟你挥手。
So the 北京周伟新
也早在上线了哈。
in Singapore.
就是我们北加州的棒棒口译团队哈。好，来时间在这边呢，然后去 New， 谢谢你，你在绿云，绿云是在新山，我有没有讲错？绿云是在好 ，Lily Cool， 谢谢你，你在马来西亚安顺哈。好，杨颖师姐，北京的
people from
杨颖
Malaysia
师姐
and
非常感恩你手上
Yang Yin
的
from
健
Beijing.
康哦，注意
wish
杨颖呢，她一
the
恢复健康马上跟我们连线。
faster recovery
周
from
伟
the
新你在新山
operation.
好，其他的我们到时候再跟你们讲，请帮我们按赞转分享。
So please, yeah, like it and try to share to your friends. It's of a very good sharing
亲爱的上人、金
stories.
舍师傅，现场已
So
经
Lin
全
Jieqi
部的接
sister
家人
will
们，
share
大家好，我是
to
高雄
put
大社和气
to
基
pave
会。
the
今天
real
我所导读的范围
role.
是那吕足迹下字卷，用心铺出真
So
实。
it's a summer. You can see the 那
气
吕足迹
候的变迁跟
summer.
环保的问题是息息相关。30
Environment
年前，上
protection
人在一
is
场
a
的讲座里面，
life
深
and
深地
our
呼吁
mission.
用鼓掌的双手来做环保，从此也
So
开启
years
了
ago, Master
机器
used
人的
the
环保
hands
之
to
夜。
approach
今年已经有
to
19
do the
个
environmental
国家
protection.
多个环保站
So right now, 19
22个环保
countries
志工一起为人间来预约净土，一起守护着我们地球的环境。在我们的大陆，海南
Yes, so
岛
let's
有一位
protect our earth.
85岁的海南奶奶彭淑珍师姐。
That's an 85 years old 慈济 volunteer in the
许多环保站
Hainan
都有她的
Island.
身影。那我们来看一段她的影片。
So she did in a lot of the environmental protection stations. Let's see her video.
慈济志工冯淑珍奶奶瘦小身形，
So 冯淑珍 volunteers
每日行程。
Well, she's everything, but very steady steps, and taking the bus to 11 stops to go to the EP station.
公车转步行，银楼是目的地，但目的并非川
And
崎
so still alone working.
年过80，
Then you go to the
全
station
是多年累积的
try
好身
to
手。
do the
大包小
recycling.
包回收物就这般扛着原路折返。
So big bags.
儿子媳妇从
She will
反对
bring
转
that
变
back
后
and try to do that at home. Want to make a progress. A lot of the seniors did not like this. But in the community, sometimes they have objection to the station, but they were getting better and understanding. No matter other people talk about,
海
then
南奶奶
it's a spirit, yeah, very good.
始
And
于足下，岁岁年年。
感恩
she
奶奶刚开始
did
做
much
环保
more
的时
than
候，家
what
人是反
she
对的，
talks.
因为家里的环
In the
境还不
beginning,
错
there's
出去捡垃
the
圾
family is
常常起
got
别
up
人的误会。
objection
奶奶呢，
and
她呢自己
taking
因为
those
有一次
the
到
waste
台湾
will
花莲金色参与
cause
环
the
保
neighbor
听到
not
师傅
happy.
说对的事做就
But
对
later,
这让
if
奶奶
this is
回
the
到了
right
自己的
thing,
故
then
乡
we
之后
just
更
need
建
to
立她
do
的
it.
信心。她坚持一心就是要做环保，爱护地球。
So
这
when
么一
he,
做，不
she
仅
get back
家
and
人
you will
因
keep
为反对
doing
而感
this.
动了，变
But
成
later,
支持她，也带动了他们
is
社区
move
的民众，还
her
有地区
family
的师兄
and
师姐
move
一起
the
来守护地
the
球。
people
奶
in
奶
the
她坚持
community
说，不管只要她
and
还活着
to
还有口气，她就是
protect
要
our
做
earth.
到最后，不管
So what she will do to the end of her life. So it's with our learning. So the uniform we wear is a 柔和忍辱. So when we get to the people, although it's difficult, yeah, but we still need to persistently to do it. So it's the Buddhism and the 慈济 and our own personality. Cultivate ourselves and try to touch people. So the ancient masters, the compassion is the critical. So the Bodhisattva and the Buddha all based on compassion. So they listen to masters talking. So thanks to Master sharing. So there's all painful stuff in the world. So not only we know it, but we need to do the action. So we can help others and bring others to do this together. So when we get to the world, it's not enjoy our life, and every day we need to be actively to pay, to help others. Because every Buddha is all from the real world, not from the heaven. So the disaster will become more and more in the future. So it's hard to defend. And the virus is everywhere. So the only good thing is to be only sincerely and try to keep a vegetarian thing to remove the disaster and sincerely to vote for the fortune and the peace. So let's watch the video. Hi everyone. You know what is our dinner? So the vegetable and the bitter cucumber, the bamboo sprout, and some tofu skins. So long time ago, if the ocean people, when they made the pandemic, the whole village will become vegetarian for a while. So in our world, it's like the whole village in the COVID-19 pandemic. The only way is to become vegetarian. So please, everyone, will become vegetarian together. Yeah, so little girl really cute and great. So if we don't eat animal, we won't die. But if we eat them, then we kill a lot of animals. So when we can use to have use a compassion and respect to the life, then with our appreciation. So we will become a vegetarian. Just very simple. So the master worry a lot, keep telling everyone we need to become vegetarian. But there's still a lot of students did not really become vegetarian. So we need to become vegetarian and really promote vegetarian. So the Chen Wenqian have a book is talking about when you get to obstacles, then you will see when you get to the end of your life, you did not feel the fortune or unfortunate in like everybody's view or your own feeling, then the obstacle is the most precious gift in our life. So, so Mr. did not take the offering. So there's 3 types of offering. Yeah. So let's watch the video. The offering, the most important, you need to believe and understand. So when you listen the Dharma from the Buddha, you need to keep it, and you need to believe and understand it, and ready to feel it. So when you understand, then you can really make it in practice. So when you take the Dharma, study, write it, then you need to do that in practice. It's like building a tower. The merit is the same. So what Buddha like is not like the material offering. It's that would like us to deeply understand and believe is a Dharma. So the Lotus Sutra is very important. The practice is the highest offering to the Buddha.
一心一意的跟随身体力行的来用净供养来供养上人，每一个人都是用身体力行力行菩萨道的行供养。我们知道我们的上人不接受供养，但是师父非常的。
So we need to just follow the master's mind and to make that as our own mind and follow that step by step and practice.
送给大家，我们一起念好吗？学佛。
So finally, let's use the 金色 offering. Don't afraid of the difficult. Once the pollution is being removed, then we'll become a Buddha. So, wish the pandemic will be ended soon. It depends on our mind, our heart, to pave the safe road.
所有的1个 Telegram、7个微信、18个 Line 群组，他讲完的，他刚才那些所有的简报影音全部已经传出去了哈。
Yeah, so right now the WeChat, the Line group, after like she presented the material already been spread out in the WeChat and the Line. So don't worry about that. So step by step, we're getting very, very powerful. So that's read this. You don't need to be very good to start, but you need to start to become very good. So we need to very work hard to become beautiful, not just waiting for the splendid. So some is a joke, some is good stories, some is warm tokens. So in the beginning, when I used the cell phone, I was just thinking, how to spread the good things. And sometimes the beautiful posters, if people did not receive that, will ask why today I did not get these good posters. So there's a feedback that the brother Sixian sharing is very great. The Singapore volunteers says, yeah, we need to. So let's get make us warm people too.
之前师兄那一句话写出来，佛子行道以来世得作佛哈，所以我们就是。So
if we practice the Dharma method, then we will become a Buddha ourselves in the future.
他非常可爱，我们一定要给他掌声。他
北京张玉宝，
掌声给张玉宝。
Let's give a round of applause to 张玉宝。
向尾做环卫工作，一边带着读书会温暖的声音在。
So is doing the protection way in Beijing for the pandemic. So this the positive energy really won the whole Beijing. A very long the north Heilongjiang province. It's very excited to see the brother Sixian.
这样子我就不好意思讲快速。
Send the good words for the main sister. They're very beautiful and good. Sounds good, very good.
好，那北京的邻居说，虽然呢，他们北京目前是-17度哦。
So Beijing right now is negative 17 Celsius.
举起手来，跟北京的
So it says still working very hard to study the sutra. So that's a wave. So it's not so cold because we are all online together. Highly appreciate it. So Meiyun sister is saying that Meiyun 老师 is only 18 years old.
好，非常感恩。不过前段日子听了齐邦彦教授，他93岁，然后
So Qi Pangyan professor is 93 years old. When we see here is sharing, but in like maybe 10 minutes sharing, but it's make us love and. So today the 卫福部。
所以讲师触及精彩之极。首先大家看到是大林慈院分方信念，非常感恩碧珍师姐，还有我们赖院长的一个传真引荐哈。所以在大林慈院。
So 大林慈济 Hospital。
今天来到的这一位仁医呀，首先来看看这样的一个个案哈。那
So let's see the video. We're talking about a specific case of the diabetes. So not only need to cover the leg, but also.
Yeah, thanks, Brother Richard. I will take over here. Thank you so much. Yeah, the next guest speaker is Dr. Huang from Darling Hospital. So Huang Jieqi, he's the director of the Department of Children Plus of Darling. So you can save a lot of patients from removal of the limbs, but instead of maintain the limb and without any removal due to the death of the tissue or bone infection. So the next topic is very intensive in terms of the medical how wonders that our Darling Hospital doctor turn the impossible to the possible to save a lot of patient legs, limbs, and hands. Yeah, that would be a very good topic for the next.
所以大爱电视台的其实是守护健康、守护很多人的一个 身体的健康、心灵的一个健康哈。那我们来看看这里的一个个案。
反复感染开刀清创8次，骨头已经受到较大的伤害，而且软组织缺损严重。
This is the scene is show how the doctor come to the Thai TV and present their cases in the hospital.
皮瓣和血管重建右脚膝盖的软组织和血管结合。
伊就甲这迄烂肉拢清清的，吼啊，然后伊有。
So you can imagine how the reconstructions on those tissue and the bones and the cleaning and the reconstructions actually is taking some part of the tissue in a body and put it into the dead tissue or dead bones. So it needs a lot of effort, and the Dr. Wang worked very early and effortless to save the leg. If not, the limb will be removed.
术后1个多月，在医护团队的照顾下，王先生顺利出院。
So the patient always need to revisit to make sure there's no infections after the surgery. And sometimes it might take months and many surgeries, a lot of reconstructions. Oh, the healing might take 6 months or 1 year to prevent the infections. So the care is not just months, it's actually years. So really intensive care need to be in place between the doctor and the patients.
然后非常巧合的，这个大林慈院啊，跟得这个奖嘿，看看谁来颁奖
从国健署长王英伟手中接过慢性肾脏病健康促进类奖，此进大林和斗六医院除了治疗，致力提升患者对肾脏病认识、
he won the award.
好，我们热烈掌声，让影像放着哈，热烈掌声欢迎我们
Not only the reconstructions of the dead bones, but also the dialysis treatment. Let's give a pause to Dr. Huang Jieqi.
就是借由毕珍跟院长这样子推荐，我们1年有6位的医王会来到这边哈，所以我也因为这样子都可以遇见高人。今天他有没有高人一等的感觉？然后刚才呢，就是那个2014年的，可是
So Darling Hospital has come to study group 6 times. So they are really dedicated on this study group.
但是依然忙碌哈。那在这个一个当下里面呢，我们非常感恩，短短
He looked young.
时间点上，不过因为要来到
Although he worked hard.
小压力，所以赶快把近视眼拿出来，一拿出来就是500条然后呢，精读基本上台大的，我是永远。
He feel a little bit nervous and make a lot of homework and pretty plus PowerPoint slide. So this is how the doctors serious about the presentation.
那一路跟他聊天，其实也是21年来我第一次跟他聊天这么久的。真的，他平常真的很忙那你刚刚讲过了，台大帮的嘛来自台大跟之前来的。
So Sister Ye is a director of humanitarian group in Darling Hospital.
黄部长的身上看到了脚踏实地，是看到了真。
So she gave her reflections to Dr. Huang in the hospital.
就是一个小袋子里面就 装一瓶矿泉水，其他什么都没有。
And
然后就回想
she reflected that Dr. Huang is a very sincere
大家都印象深刻。
doctor.
之前有一个孩子来参加我们的读书会，一次而已哦。然后他回去之后，有一次在他是中钢的外包厂商，然后有一次在清机台的时候，整只手，我忘记是左手还是右手他整只手被那个机器全部压碎了。然后在高雄这边治疗了1个多月之后，那是我们九品香师兄他们的侄子，然后整只手。我看到照片的时候，他整
So the patient has a severe injuries on
11个小时哦
his
，11个小时帮他
hand
那只手修补，然后整理，然后经过1、2次的清创之后，总算保留住那一只手哈。
and the brain Italian from Dr. Wang. And Dr. Huang took 11 hours to do all reconstructions and keep the hands. So
所以部长的这个技术真的是非常的优秀，为人也是很谦卑，对，脚踏实地。
是脚踏实地，各位。大家欢迎他的方式。刚才听这样故事的时候
she asked the hands, and although the function is not that well anymore, but I think this is how the doctor treat the patient as a whole body, right? So that this young patient can keep the hand instead of removal. I think everyone understands the doctor's intention over here. Took 11 hours. Let's welcome Dr. Huang.
全球的慈济人，我今天要讲的就是主题，就是法随入心医疗性愿行。我是大林慈济医院整形外科黄介奇医师想到这个大林医院的时候，已经
Master and volunteers around the world. Dr. Huang's today's topic is the vows, the faith, and the willingness in medical missions.
事实上，这个整形外科事实上在外国的话，它事实上是整形重建外科。
A lot of people question Dr. Huang, what are you doing in the reconstructions surgical?
烧烫伤还有刚等下要讲的肢体重建，包括头颈部癌症的一个重建，还有各式。
Beside the beauty reconstructions, it also involves legs, limbs. I think you can say that the whole body. Today is more focused on the limb reconstructions. In Tallinn, it's a suburban place, so lots of residents use home remedies as a treatment for saving medicine. So a lot of grandma, grandpa, there's no person to ask. Lots of their sons is out in Taipei for working. So those grandma, grandpa only can rely on their home remedies. There's some special I must have said we need to make our good deeds.
这是一个80几岁的阿嬷，她是在来给我看的时候不是这个样子，这个伤口是已经。
So it will see how you treat your illness. You bring how case 1, right? Many cleaners, the grandma child has a diabetes for many years.
给冷清，还有一些草药混在一起，把它弄在上面，就导致这个伤口整个发黑坏死。当然，它还好。
So Dr. Wang cleaned this wounds many times, but still got infections.
把它清干净之后，慢慢伤口就长出这些红肉出来，最后慢慢就好起来。
And the grandchildren is the nurse of our hospital. So she bring the recover. This case tells us that the simple wounds, if you take care very properly, it will recover soon. If you use the wrong treatment, it will cause more infections. So Master tells us that the body is a body tree. The heart is like a mirror. So we need to wipe it diligently from time to time. Don't make dust. So we really need to take care. The wounds, not case number 2. So the 83 years grandma and suffer from a diabetes, right? And due to the picketing the skins of her left foot at home, she did not expect that wounds of the first and second toes were gradually infected, rotten and blackened, and she had many maggots and can't fall asleep.
我们在把它这个伤口清干净之后，我们还要顺便检查它的一些四肢的一个循环，发现它循环事实上是
So it may need remover if it getting worse.
把血管把它打通。当我们打通它
So
血管之后，再把这个伤口处理掉。
lot of surgery
烂掉的一些骨头、
一个 removal
一些坏死的东西
dead tissue, infection, bone, and it cause some white blood.
改善之后，我们就把这个伤口就把它补起来了。阿妈最后当然也很感谢。
So we need a lot of antibiotic treatment and several cleanings operation that they call debridement and balloon dilation to increase the blood circulation, and later. So the grandma was really shocked if it need the removal of the toes. So
在出来之后的话，还是请他要注意一下，每天要检查我们自己的身体，看有没有新的一个东西出来。如果真的有出来的话，请赶快再回来这样子。
So finally, the wound was completely healed and nobody was restored. And Dr. Wang also remind Amma to watch out the wound again. So Master said, it's hard to do, but still do so. Hard to give up, but still give up. So then you can transcend your personality.
事实上，他在外出车祸了。他有天去工作的时候，开着车被车子撞了以后，他在其他。
So this is case number 3.
因为这看起来这膝盖骨还有小腿骨是一个粉碎性的骨折。
If it's a fracture in a high knee after a car accident.
但是很可惜，就是说，因为这个伤口不是很干净，他钉子打了之后
，So there's a fractures.
钉子打了之后，他很快就感染了。发生了感染之后，这个医生没有办法，因为他已经打。
There's a surgery on the outside the hospital, but it still causes infections.
又清创了好几次。这个病人他来给我看的时候，他已经清创了7次了。他非常的痛苦，他说每天晚上就是那个骨头在痛，痛到都不行。
And there are lots of cleaning of the wounds many times. When you refer to Dr. Huang, so causing bacteria and bone infections. His knee is one of our Darling Hospital staff. So should we refer to Dr. Huang? So the wound has been infected. If we want to rescue the need, so we need a lot of surgery and cleaning. 受伤感染了，我看能不能有第二个意见，能不能医师再做一点什么事情，让我们脚能够再恢复。结果来了之后，很幸运的，就是我 really want to can do more to save the leg. 他的骨钉板已经拿掉，所以事实上只剩下一个骨头感染的问题。 After the estimation, the infection is not that bad. So it's only the bone infections, and it's not that serious. So after the cleaning, nations of the master flap and the skin graft. So finally, Dr. Wang saved the right leg from removal. 如果是做一个组织的移植，它事实上是把一个组织拿下来之后，接通它的动脉和静脉之后，这个组织就可以存活。因为我们人事实上我们身体上的组织非常的多，所以我们可以移植一些比较不要用的一个组织，比较少用的组织，移植到我们可能需要的组织。譬如说，像这个病人。 So we can actually the leg is saved by transplant some of the tissue on other part of the body, which not used, and to the area of the leg. So this is how what we call the muscle flap transplantations. 我很幸运的，刚刚那个影片里面有讲，这个病人就是伤口有顺利愈合，他也没有。So it really took a long time, like roughly like 7 hours to do those tissue transplantations. So after treatments, the leg is saved from the removal. 最常见就是朝那病的脚，这个脚事实上它是一个。 And diabetes is actually easy for infections. It's a cracks on our foot, doing small crack. If we have a diabetes, we really need to careful to treat on those cracks. So the diabetes can cause a lot of vascular disease, easy infection. In diabetes, the patient, the peripheral blood circulation is poor in winter. And the feet are dry and cracked. Even if the small wound is infected, it may worsen. If for winter, we may soak in a warm what we call warm water to get a great enjoyment. But the average temperature of the hot spring is about 43 degrees, and most materials still can survive at this temperature. So it's recommended to cover shoes instead of slipper and avoid kicking things and cause a wound without knowing it. So we need to wear a sock to keep warm and check for the wound.
就像滴水才有办法穿石这样子，再大的困难才有办法去克服。所以事实上，我觉得开这个刀，事实上就是一种耐心的修。
Perseverance is like a dripping through a rock. Operation might take many hours. So no matter how big is the difficulty obstacle are, we can break through. So this history of diabetes and stroke. He was in bed due to the knee fracture, which result in tissue death, infection, and fever in his right lower limb. Family members and patients wanted active treatment. So, yeah. So other hospitals suggest removal of the leg. So they refer to the Darling Hospital. So X-ray shows severe blockage of the femoral and tibial arteries. So these are two main arteries was blocked. So we need to increase the circulation through the balloons dilations and stent placement to open up the blood vessel. So after repeated debridement or cleaning surgery and antibiotic treatment, lower limb tissue death and bone infection was cured. So you can see that the infection is almost goes to the remover. So how we can do more to save the leg? So you can see bone infection, right lower limb and here. So this is called a compound free flap. There's a remove some part of the flap tissue of the body and reconstruct two separate the wound. So it took a lot of time. And he stayed at hospital for 2 months, and you can see he gradually heal up. And family are so happy. It feels joyful when we see the patients recover. The case number 5 is 60-year-old man in motorcycle accident. His right foot was run over by a gravel wheel, a heavy car, resulting in the fracture of his right thigh. So wound in his right calf and muscle tissue that combined with lower limb syndrome blood blockage, very severe damage on the leg because it's a heavy vehicle run over. You can see the tissue exposed to the out. Bone is fractured. This scan shows intensive right lower limb muscle tissue that and the tissue is ruptured and smell bad. And it reflects the dead tissue.
发现他血管也整个都塞住了。因为这个开放性的骨折，如果血管又塞住，肌肉坏死，事实上搞不好要马上截肢来救命。但是截肢救命是病人用。
So there's an X-ray show on the blocks on the artery.
各科的团队的照顾之下，骨科医师也照会我们，然后我们照会感染科、胸腔外科。
We try to remove her, but the patient is quite young, is 50 years. So how we can do more? Is there any chance that we can save the leg? So again, is obstructions of the intensive rupture of the lower with a free skin flaps. So after the operation, the flap and wound heal well with the antibodies.
当然，我们在开这个刀之前，因为刚刚有讲嘛，做这个显微手术可能要花，像这个病人可能要花。
So from the picture, you can see how severe of the damage.
做他一个身体的整体的评估，还好这个病人最后慢慢，
it may take 10 or 11 hours
稳定下来之后的话，我们在他
to do those
伤口感染比较控制那天的时候，就再花12个小时时间把他的伤口把它补起来。这是伤口补起来。
Yes, I think.
伤口它是从背后，因为那伤口太大了，那绞一整圈，所以背后拿一块。
We spent 11 hours to do the reconstructions.
肌肉移植到这个小腿的地方一整圈这样。那这个病人运气也是不错，但是他病人这个病人。
So doctor took the tissue from the back and see that and put it into the wounded leg.
我们补的东西大概是还好，是没有问题，之后就伤口愈合的还不错。但是这个就是代表我们这个是这个刀带。
After the operation, the flap and the wound heal well, no rebounds, infections, and able.
医师也要付出代价，我们可能要花更多的时间来做一个显微手术来解救一下他的肢体。上人也跟我讲说，我们要付出爱心就是福了，能够消除烦恼。
That's a lot of hard work
年终岁末祝福
from the patients and the doctor.
所以我们人要知福惜福。
Reconstructions, many cleaners blessing, and be able to eliminate worries with wisdom. So people must know the blessing, cherish the blessing, and rebuild the blessing. So case number 6, a man in his 57 years ago, while working in a chicken farm, his left foot was stabbed by an iron nail. He has a diabetes, he didn't feel it and didn't care about it. And he didn't go to the doctor until his foot continued to swell. And fever and blood circulation problem. So when we see the wound is very severe, the bone infections.
发现这个气体都在长在这个脚底的地方，整个脚都是一个。
So smell bad from the wound. So X-ray scans.
之后在7年前的话，我们第一次就把它这个伤口的脚就把它补起来。
You can see clearly the infections and bones fracture. So in 7 years ago, the doctor did the first operations, what we call flap tissue operation reconstructions. Now after 6 months, he went back to the chicken farm and caused infections because of the less care on the wound. That's why during these six months, the patients reject to come to the hospital and for the checkup, then it causes this kind of reoccurrence. So the 2 years from the first operation, and patients agree to do a second operation. So second free reconstruction surgery. So after the second operation, as well intensive care and the wound heal. And after the second operation, he came back 2 to 3 times, getting the wound care. Until last year, and he was injured at work again in the chicken farm. So this time is the big toes was injured, and bone infection again on the left big toes with inflammations of the tissue. You can see how bad is the blackness of the tissue. X-ray confirmed that the bone infections, and this third time the free flap reconstruction surgery. So total 3 operations in 5 years. So after operation, the flap wound healed well, and they resume walking and daily work. Actually, the patients agreed for the removal, but the doctors think that he still got chance for recovery, but a lot of difficulty. But because of the efforts of the doctor, and we saved his toes, and now he really need to take care himself. So Master says, vow is endless. Our vow is to be endless as well. Making a vow easy, but action is difficulty. So we heard there's a blessing, there's a vow, and there's a power to actions. So this is case number 7. From picture you can see the leg is got blackness. Actually, this Mr. Chai was in coma at home due to the high blood sugar. After urgent So Mr. Chai was treated outside at the hospital in ICU many times, but never recovered. So, and removal is one of the suggestions. So, and the family urged doctor try to save the later. So after 7 times of the cleaning, so we managed to save some of the late, but we continue to save the toes. So after the cleanings, the wound is here. So and discover was discharged smoothly after the hospitalizations. So the brothers mentions removal of the leg is the life decisions. At least doctor try it out. We should not give up before we do the treatment. The other doctor in other hospitals is not able to do that. At least in Thailand, we have a chance. So lucky that we are here and meet our Dr. Huang. And Dr. Huang put a lot of efforts to clean the wound, increase the blood circulation, and allowed the brothers, the patients, able to walk again instead of removal. It's really a touching sharing from the brothers. Reconstruction is like puzzle. So we need to work under a microscope, and it really hurt the eyes of the doctor. The main reconstruction is to maintain the external look. So a lot of patients actually is diabetes, which can causing a lot of infections. In Darling Hospital, the operation of head and neck free flap surgery has been starting in year 2000 and has been operate more than 1,300 cases. And free flap surgery has been there since 2000 and working more than 800 cases. I really appreciate Sixian brothers for listening to my sharing. It's a great sharing. I really touch about what Dr. Huang saved lots of lead and toes so that the patient can preserve the body again without instead of removal.
那在这样的一个状况之下，我想他是体贴了非常多人的心，就是这样，就是人以典范了哈。那平常
Dr. Sister May mentioned that Dr. Huang put a lot of effort to save the patients. It is the best cases for the patients instead of removal. This sharing lets us, the Sixian brothers around the world, know how much effort from the doctor in Chiji Hospital, not only from the professional itself, but actually from the humanitarians and from the angle of the patients to provide the best treatment. So So we are so great for the Darling Hospital.
再过去请购。那同时间呢，请导播 take 我的画面就好了。我在这边呢，要跟大家去分享哈，非常感恩。这里有非常天啊，美国凤凰城的，谢谢你们，你们也连线在一起哈。同时这边呢，有让我们非常感动，长照丰原的长照跟我们一起同时观看。
Sister Maying is reading out from the comments around the world.
长照戏剧点已经跟我们连线74周了。那其他各地方的长照班，其实我们给你们没问题。你们其实只要看。
We also have from Phoenix, USA, Feng Yan from Taiwan.
每周呢选择一段落来跟我们连线的话，我想是很好的哦。所以希望说。
And the Feng Yan's audience is most likely elder, so they are watching the online study group together with us. Elder class 的。
非常感恩我们内蒙的恩利哈，来，我们请主场，我 cue 你们，请你们把你们的书举高高，保持微笑，放在旁边，后面的站起来，然后其他线上的请跟着我哈，然后等他们拍完照以后就会离开，来，后面的人请站起来，把书，嘿，对，来，好，那非常感恩内蒙赤峰的恩利，他说感恩。
There's a photo taking on the live at Kaohsiung right now.
拍手按赞，不能热情洋溢哈。那在这边的时候呢，我们看到的是这边 Linda 就讲小朋友推数超级棒，台语讲得真好，继续努力，的确是这样子哈。
So there's a
小玫瑰第一次我看到他以后就说
great feedback from the Beijing about brother Stephen Wang.
这边是重庆的陈冠廷，他说利己利人，再辛苦都不怕哈。那非常感恩我们在 YT 平台今天也非常多，无论是我们的 Effie， 我们的 Angel， 好，这边呢，他说 cannot agree with brother Huang that his system.
The Chongqing in China, there's one audience really touched about Dr. Huang overcome obstacles, difficulty to treat the patients.
好，可以转播我们线上读书会吗？导如人大承担，用心准备，赞哈。那这边壁花祝福上人法体安康，全球慈济家人好哈。好，总是非常的多。虽然我没办法念完你们所有的，但是一定要继续给我们哦。那接下来的是我们的重点顺口溜，署长也好，部长也好，请看哦，我们的重点顺口溜。
There's a lot of comments on the YouTubes and the Facebooks.
我们本来有5位美国的志工，不但写顺口溜，还要写英文重点摘要。好，那现在加入了加拿大人文学校的亮君校长，一整个3小时下来，马上写出4号善念正能量，弘法利生爱飞扬，音乐笔记法传唱，随师见闻会命讲。
So this sharing is about the recap last week and through to our sister from Canada and Beijing. If you know about the last week, Brother Joe talked about the translations and the composed song from Brother Renpo and Sister Chinger about Jingshi Cafe and Shop.
我们美国顺口溜团队，他们呢这一次是慈金师姐写的哈，所以我们用快速度、快节奏，然后和着节奏一起来。
So this is a recap from USA. And Brother Joe mentions about online study group, which involve multi-country, multi-language. Vegetarians, the composed songs of Gaoyan and Renpo. We also have Brother William Kerr from medical foundations. 净师 shop and cafe, Sister Qing'er share about the 净师 product. And Earth environmental protections. If you still remember what's sharing for the past last week. Let's give them a round of applause for last week. Good recap from our USA team.
时间文清，今天莅临，好，然后，先在画面上照简报，好不好？来，我是慈济的一块砖，跌到高楼不骄傲，跌到厕所不炫。
Okay. Next section, I will turn to Sister Lisa.
Okay, thank you. So let's welcome Sister Sixian and also Brother Victor Wenqing. So they have been doing the Da'ai online sessions. Online today, they have actually arrived in Kaohsiung. So these are some positive feedback from some of the attendees who actually, mentioned a lot about how the Da'ai online programs content has affected them.
本来一开始是我们的讲师给我们的回响，但是后来渐渐的，就是书友们也加入，然后亲友团来到这里，有感受也加入，大家。
So it's getting very impressive. Initially, it's just a comment from the online, but a lot of studies, group members, they actually started written and sending all those long feedback. So let's welcome Sister Sixian and Brother Wenqing. From Da'ai Radio.
手酸一下，举高一点，好 ，OK， 各位，尤其是大陆的家人，我现在可以感受到你们现在正在欢呼。
So Sister Maying actually specifically addressed Beijing, China volunteers. So let's give them applause and welcome them to the Kaohsiung.
各就各位，大家都各就各位，忙成一团。就忙成一团是属于我们团队的这个部分了哈。那今天他们来，平常都在云端，在美国北加州。
So previously they were actually broadcast from U.S. California. However, their volunteer activities are spread across, the U.S. continent as well as China.
校长好，大家好，美玲老师好，
So both Sister Wenqing and Brother Wenqing, they have been involved in a lot of international schools as career. So we have been calling her Principal Sixian. So basically, Sister Meishin shared how she got connected to Sister Sixian. And since the connection, they sparked a lot of new ideas in sharing Tzu Chi. So I'm extremely grateful to get the opportunity to share Tzu Chi and talk about Tzu Chi, especially in Sister Meiling's study group. Once I got it, I'm going to continue to spread positive energy and kind energy, spread across, especially to mainland volunteers in mainland China. So as we know, the volunteers in China, they are not able to connect to YouTube directly. So Sister Sixian, and Brother Wenqing did a lot of effort behind leveraging the high tech, leveraging different social medias, connecting different social medias, through this online study group. So it's amazing. There's a lot of volunteers, and they also also called out one of the volunteers, Sister Feng Chen, who also involved a lot in the study group. So Brother Wenqing is also in our interpretation team.
应该是第1周高雄组长，但是现在第5组美国的团队在翻译。现在所以他不用翻译，但是他们2个一来，就马上跟我讲，我也知道他们的工作状况，我就说，哎，你们来是不是要带着电脑来？是不是要跟国外的连线？是不是要传达讯息？是。所以他们今天马上来了，直接加入。
So, although today they are presenters, they still bring their laptops and also phone and get the setup behind because they are still working behind the scene. They can make the connection to bring in the volunteers from China to listen to the study group.
其实真的很不容易，尤其是像我没有稿子给他，而且思贤师兄更好玩了。我说思贤师兄，你一定要给我简报，要不然英文口译很难哦。他说谁翻译的？他说我说宝如他们那一组。他说宝如哦，好，将他直接翻译就好了。宝如。
Basically, Sister Ming is talk about how every time Sister Ming during the preparation, she will try to get the script from the presenter so that the interpretation can prepare. But today, there are some of the presenters like Brother Sixian who doesn't have scripts beforehand. And Brother Wenqing is sharing that, it's not an easy job to do the interpretation, but all the Tzu Chi volunteers are always willing to take up new challenge. So from do not know, we learn and learn and learn until we are able to handle the job. So initially, when he started assuming the interpretation job, he will select sections that he feels familiar with to do the interpretation. But gradually he realized that, not really, I should actually try out something new to kind of challenge myself. And he finally challenged himself by doing the translation part of Sister Megan, who actually speaks very fast. So he wanted to kind of challenge himself. Although in his first initial attempts, he still feel like he failed, but he will continue to strive and assume the responsibility.
可是这所有的人在这里，他们发现，经过从6月开始一直进行到现在，他们发现也爱上这个读书会，就私下跟我讲，他们说，原来从这里真可以得到非常多的事法，去印证上人的法。然后最主要是活络的一个方式，但是最重要的是，你觉得他们呢？署长跟部长，你觉得他们的翻译口译都不是专业人员，现在经过这样半年以后，有没有
？So through the interpretation, there are quite a lot of feedback from people who joined. Actually, did learn something from the study group. So as interpretation team, we will all continue to strive and work hard so that we can translate or interpret the meaning of each sessions to all the audience who are listening.
好，那他们平常在云端就是实经文经大爱之音，你听他们的声音就知道，原来是主持人嘛。
So they are the cloud radio, 大爱 cloud radio station. So let's welcome them of the sessions today from Kaohsiung directly. So hello to all the audience who are connecting today.
来到了主场，和大家开始又是要结好缘、找知音的时候了。我是姚石金，上人自我法号慈雅。
我是戒文清，上人自我法号纪友。
新的一年都是要。
Well, New Year, which means we have to fulfill the new dream. So this year, as we know, we are still in pandemic. This is actually the time for us to kind of open up for great education. So, what is a human's connection with animals? Look, animals are being used in the research and surgery, and also we even wear animals as clothes. So animals actually have thoughts and emotions. They are very similar to humans. So you can tell, their painful emotions. If someone pat on the dog, they can feel happy. And look at this cat. He's actually in shock. And this Chihuahua looks like he's a little bit confused. And if you look at this dog, seems like he's very confused and painful emotions. If you look at these monkeys, you can tell the kids is like a parent and kids relationship. So animals actually have emotions. They also have thoughts. So how can we as human beings, put our happiness by replacing the animal's pain? Okay, let's look at this cat. They also know how to share. You see, this is how a dog is sharing with the little lamb here. How sweet. Oh, there is different type of animals, but they know what is sharing. There's really no order between them. Look at this. Take care of a tiger. There's still love and sharing among different animals. So if you look at the dog, very active, but when look at how he treats this little chick, it's so comforting. And actually, animals also have wisdom. Since human is actually animals with wisdom, we should be able to present our love and show our care to the animals. So during pandemic, we have been like cycling around, and then we've seen a lot of stray cats. So we started bringing food and water for them. So initially, you can feel that they are afraid of us and they dare not come close to us. But gradually, as they recognize our kindness, they started to come close to us. They have emotions, they have thoughts. So we can actually show love to the animals, and animals actually need love from other living things. So if you look at the seagull, when they fly, they actually enjoy the environment, the freedom.
但是今天我要带大家看这一群海鸥已经飞到都市里的池塘，为什么？人类都躲起来了，海鸥进来了。那我们呢？每天呢
the birds started flying into the cities because a lot of us are actually stay at home during the pandemic. So, but when they come to the cities, they actually lack of food. So when we were actually strolling around the lake, we see them, we can tell they are so, we can feel that they are actually circling around above us. As if they're telling us that, we regain our freedom, we can enjoy the environment. So these are geese and ducks. So, and recently, maybe because of pandemics, when humans are staying at home, gradually all these ducks are actually getting more and more. I heard they actually flew from Canada. So then we realized that, every day we go see them, and gradually we bring food for them, and started to bring the connection. These we also play Dharma's masters Dharmas and let them listen to it. So you can observe, they quietly just listen. It's amazing. Actually, I miss them a lot. Although now I'm back to Taiwan now, every day we went to see them. Besides bringing them food, I also bring Dharma to them. I wish that, in the next life, they will have the opportunity to kind of talk to me. So this is how we make connections.
飞奔过来和我们相见欢，我看了真的，他们似乎认清楚了，不只是要食物，更要我们这两个，身上好像都是如数的素香味。I
guess it's also because we are vegetarianism. Not only they wanted the food around us, they know that we are not harming them.
日以这每天的去陪伴他们，然后他们呢也不用在水里头躲着。 几乎我们到了，老远到了，就看这两个人就知道，闻到味道，这两个人就是全素。
So they know that we won't hurt them.
所以说他们就上岸来。
They can get very close to us.
相信我们，也让我们多一份疼爱他们的心。然后呢，都会跟我们这样紧接的。有时候我走，他就会。
Sometimes as I walk around, they will just follow us. As if we know each other before.
大家相聚在一起的，你看这一群大雁啊、鸭子啊。 都是近距离的，没有一点恐怖。你看，动物是可以让它生活更美好。
So we can provide opportunity
人
for
跟动物是可以和平相处。看看我们跟大雁是可以互动的。我可以拿手机上上人说的话图给他看，跟他说话。他有时候还会点点头。
So I believe in Buddha nature of all the animals. So that's why I would like to share Dharma with them.
是的，回应我，多么亲切！你看，我还要跟他说感恩，真的，对动物的慈爱就是要保护动物。
If we love animals, we should vow to protect them. So there are a lot of volunteers. These are pets from the city. They are taking care of these animals. For some animals. Who are ill, they actually, put them to sleep to make sure that they won't suffer.
真心爱你的人，但是要养一只爱你的宠物很容易，只要你爱它，不要抛弃它，不要放弃它，它就不会走入饿死。啊，我们很快的介绍，我们在上海的王英师姐总是。
So this is one of volunteers in China. So every time when she found a street pets that ill, she actually bring them home and take care of them. Now give them a very warm place to stay. And build the connections. So sometimes, she accumulated as many as 12 cats. So I guess the point today is, not just become vegetarian, we also need to show our gratitude and respect and protect the animals around us. And of course, the best is, if we really love them, we should not eat animals. So very grateful to have all of you that we went through 2020 together. Hopefully we'll continue 2021 together.
有没有？这个本来就是广播主持人哈，然后他们两个为什么能够一搭一唱这样子那么顺畅？因为在家里就被关起来，而且从美国关3周，所以这个不晓得练过。
So they're very professional because they actually the host of radio broadcast, and also because they have been quarantined for 3 months. More than 3 months in the U.S. And this time, when they came back to Taiwan, they have quarantined themselves for 21 days. Before they can come out.
Is like a weekly family gathering, always enriching and inspiring. Recharge our minds so that we can continue to move forward with confidence as a better person spiritually.
OK， 翻译。
翻译仔细看。OK， 啊。这说实在的，在这个平台，真的是每一周我们的家人都可以如此的相聚在一起，这个精神呢是给我们很大的鼓舞。我们希望能够再往前，继续往前，让我们建立信心，再往前继续。感恩大家。
哇，太好了！英文口译还有翻译，那同时间呢，要好在怎么样？眼睛还看得清楚。我现在有时候都要这样，很难呐、有没有？他们每个月时经文经大爱之音是我们每个月的固定一个单元哦，然后每一次10分钟都。
So the sessions that I broadcast is actually a fixed program every month in our study group. So very glad that they actually presenters in the Kaohsiung directly today. So next, let's move a little bit to it's been a couple hours since we started the study group. So let's do some exercise. Let's see, today is slightly different. Let's see what's the difference.
今天是2021年1月6号，但是对我们读书会来讲，是我们呢读书会的第一天。很多人
Today is January 6th, so it's technically the first study group of 2021.
是我退休，快要退休，有人说，袁老师做一个白天的读书会，我说好。他说什么时间？我说我退休那一天，所以我退休那一天是礼拜天。
When I retire on 2012, you know, before I retire, I was asked when will I conduct a study group. Then I responded saying that yes, on the day I retired. So it so happened that I retired on a Wednesday, so I started the study group since then.
哇，这团队很不得了。但是2021年我们即将会有4组人哦。那今天是跨新年，会来点。
So today is actually a New Year program.
我们今天要来点特别的，但是活动组一样问候。
So from all my team here, I'm gonna say just wish everyone.
我们这段是要来点特别的不一样。首先要带大家一起来唱这一首歌。
I'm gonna sing this new song.
有听过，但是希望我们能细细品味里面的歌词意涵，一起来唱这一首《风雨有多大》。
So let's sing this song together. And the name of the song is No Matter How Great the Storm Is. 'River move, benevolent do not move. Allow sadness, allow frustration. How much wandering and not deviating from the direction? Dark clouds cover the blue sky. With patience and smile, accept regrets, accept tears. We still use love to ignite the light of the world, even if you cross the ocean to a faraway place. With loving care, you will not be alone. Grateful memory is the source of happiness. Stick to the good faith. The heart will be close to heaven and earth. With loving care, you will not be alone. Grateful memory is the source of happiness. Stick to the good faith. The heart will be close to heaven and earth. No matter how strong the wind and rain are. So hopefully through the lyrics of the song and the scene that we see, we can come together and face our life no matter how strong the wind and rain are. River moves, but benevolent do not move. Allow sadness, allow frustration. How much wandering and not deviating from the direction. Dark clouds cover the blue sky. With patience and with smile, we accept regrets, we accept tears. We will still use love to ignite the light of the world, even if we cross the ocean to a faraway place. With loving care, we will not be alone. Grateful memory is the source of happiness. Stick to the good faith. The heart will be close to the heaven and earth. With loving care, we will not be alone. Grateful memory is the source of happiness. Adhere to good faith, our heart will be close to the heaven and earth. No matter how strong the wind and rain are.
我们都要努力的向前行。其实大家看简报上，当一首歌成为我的歌你的歌时，歌声一起，心就自然聚在一块了。风雨有多大？这一首歌也或许是您今天第一次听到的一首歌，但是我相信你在看那个画面的时候是有感的。实际是一个日不落的奇迹世界，无论是在哪里，我们都是一样的。透过我们的身形，在上人的一个教导下，就是要努力。那这中间
Perhaps this is the first time you hear about this song, but hopefully, no matter how strong the wind and the rain are, we'll all strive together and overcome all the obstacles that we have in life. So Master Chen Yan will actually arrive in Kaohsiung today.
对不起，我星期三要处理读书会，我没有上志工早会。但是我一来，很多人就跟我讲说，上人上志早，上人上志早。老人家就是这样子。在星期一的时候，上人还说，我即将要出门。
So on Monday, Master worked very hard to wanted to start her second journey out to different cities of Taiwan to see their followers, to give us energy and faith. So Master have described herself like an old ox, If each one of us can just use one finger and willing to help Master push, and me as an old ox, I will be able to move forward. So do not underestimate even though one finger for each one of us. But more importantly, I guess we should use both hands to help Master to kind of do a lot of volunteering work to help lift those who are suffering, help them overcome their life obstacles. I'm going to invite all of us for another song. And let's come together and help Master pull the ox cart forward. So let's do it together. So let's sing this song together. So I'm just going to help translate some of the lyrics so that you know the meaning. So happy along the way. Take one step and leave 8 footprints. So what are the footprints? So they are charity, medical, education, culture, international disaster relief, bone marrow donation, and environmental protection, and community volunteers. It's not easy to pull a cart uphill. Let's work hard together. We cherish every bit. Willingly we rejoice. It's not easy to pull a cart uphill. Let's work hard together. Contribute everyone's affections and intention. Let's pull the cart forward. The ox cart is finally climbed the hillside. So happy along the way. Take a step and leave 8 footprints. And these 8 footprints are charity, medical, education, culture, international disaster relief, bone marrow donation, and environmental protection and community volunteers. It's not easy to pull a cart uphill. Let's work hard together. We cherish every bit. We are willing to rejoice. It's not easy to pull a cart uphill. Let's work hard together. Let's contribute every one of our affections and intentions and pull the cart forward. The ox cart is finally climbed up the hill.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey hey yo，大家唱出来。嘿呦嘿呦，嘿嘿呦，哎，嘿呦嘿呦，嘿嘿呦，嘿呦嘿呦，嘿嘿呦，
闪闪过去。
嘿呦，嘿呦，嘿呦，加油加油，哟嘿哟嘿嘿哟，嘿哟嘿哟嘿嘿哟，嘿哟嘿哟嘿嘿哟，嘿哟嘿哟嘿嘿哟。嘿，嘿哟嘿哟嘿哟嘿哟嘿哟嘿哟。 请大家请回座了哈。那我们非常的感恩，那个春联就让你们带回去了哈，可以把它卷起来。好，讲师触及精彩自己，我们要继续往下了。今天我们会遇见作家深度展阅哈。
I'm gonna hand it
那我
over
们来
to
看一下，我们
Brother Yang.
作家号称为点子王。最近的一个点子是什么？大家请看。
采访季节温补身体，将片加上当季蔬菜，好料上桌。
Today we have a author, like writers, who come share his idea with us. So this guy is very resourceful and is full of ideas.
点子王，所以呢，在这个当下推出了什么实名历。
So the Director General of the Health Promotion Administration, he is very big on promoting health cares and good way for. He's using the 24 season from the from the older calendars. And then to help help people to learn how to eat healthy, and then to pick what kind of food that they should be eating.
为什么他会如此有创意呢？各位，今天来遇见作家深度展阅这个部分，我们来看看，这是一场新书发表会。
How does a person to stay creative all the time? So this is a book promotion for Dr. Yingwei Wang. He's a Director General in Health Promotion Administration in the Minister of Health and Welfare. So today's topic is about health promotion for the elders to hospital care. So this is like basically his reflection of his experience in Sixian. So it is important to have our patients to be center of our cares. So through our care, like hopefully that we will create a good environment for patient to and also that he has done a lot of like remote clinic, and said that if the patient cannot come to us, now we will go to see the patients. And he is being very big on creating the so have you seen that the Director General has been working really hard to sign the book that he is promoting for other people? She's saying that she's the deputy director of the Health Promotion Administration. She's saying that the book is so good that it's hard to only to read like 5 chapters a day. This book is really, really good. You should like this. So they're promoting the book in the on site. So if you want, I think we also have in our cafe in US. If you become part of his team, that you will actually gradually become a Superman, because when he travels, he always like go on an educational tour. So it's never really just for fun, but it's always like to visit different hospital out of country, and then to learn how to better take care of people. He has always kept his initial aspirations, and even when he was a young person, was all like hair's all black, and now like his hair's all turned white, and he's still doing what he did. when he was young. So this is the hospital's rooms in Sixian Hospital in Hualien. So they did a remodeling in after 23 years of the initial operations, and he said that until the last day, the most important thing for those patients is that they have a good experience, and then they can be mindful, they can be in peace in the final days, and that's something that very very so this film in 2013, and then he leads a whole bunch young generations healthcare workers to go to the remote counties and remote towns to serve the Aboriginal populations, the elders. He's very friendly and very down to earth, and then when he talks to the elders, even when talking about death is a taboo in Asian cultures, he was able to find a way and then to have this very easy way to go into the conversations. So right now we really wanted to promote this kind of mindset in our study groups. So we don't have a lot of time to play all these videos, all these programs that was made by TV stations. But we want to at least let you feel that when he's putting the patients at the center of the healthcare, how that will change a patient's life, how that will affect the families. So we really want to promote this book, and so you can really learn how he walked the way here. So right now we like to play a song called "A Beautiful Sunrise," and then we're using this song to welcome the direct general, Mr. Dr. Wang, to the stage.
好了，哎，你不用摇太久了，可以摇到旁边去了哈。好，是，来，我们用热烈掌声欢迎署长。我真的准备了非常多。当我在看这样的一本书的时候呢，虽然呢事情很多，但是每一次遇见作家的时候，我就是满心的希望，因为在看他们书的同时。
So we're very happy to have the Director General to join us today. I was always very happy that I always learn so much when I read the book that I was to promote. So in this book, there's in one of the chapters, someone was asking Dr. Wang, how are you like so nice tempered? Like you never lost yourself. And it's like, so how can you not be angry when somebody was being rude or being disrespectful? And he's like, I care a lot. Because I care a lot, I wouldn't waste my time on useless quarrel. He said that as long as it's good for the patient, as long as the service has patient in the core of its design, we should overcome all obstacles to make sure that happens. So, she said, you really have to try to read this book because it tells a lot of stories, and there's a lot of life lessons you can learn from it. So, so please check out this book, Fun, Promoting Healthy Lifestyle for the Elders to Hospital Care. Dear Masters, dear Board Masters, and everyone, greetings. So I am never used to be called the Director General. I'm more used to being called Mr. Wang or Brother Wang. He said that all this title means nothing to me. It's like although that I didn't grow up in Taiwan, but I actually went or studied here in Taiwan. So when we were in school pursuing our medical degrees, we always serve the underserved populations in the remote towns. He's actually from Hong Kong, and so one time like he was going to a remote town, and the elders asked him like, "Oh, do you speak Taiwanese, the local dialect?" He's like, "I do a little bit, but not really." He has been in Taiwan for 50 years. There's the elders sometimes like he visited ask him like if he will stay, and then sometimes people ask him where he will go after. One time he told people that he wants to go to the eastern part of Taiwan to go to Hualien. However, during that time that the Tzu Chi Hualien hospital hasn't been built yet, so he thinks that this is a very good, comedic affinities that he ended up in Hualien. So this is the book that how he reflected on his tenures in Tzu Chi Hualien Hospital and also in the health promotion administrations. The two completely different units, but both promoting patient-centered care. So this is when he was still a medical student. So he was in Taidong County in Taiwan, and so they were visiting a Aborigine tribe. So even at the time, they haven't really been trained as a healthcare workers, like it's still on general studies. So he still wanted to volunteers to just to help out as much as he can. So he was very amazed by how Master planned so far in advance that help that they were able to even help the government agencies to be able to reach out more people in the eastern part of Taiwan, which is very remote and underdeveloped. So in 1990s, he also he became a doctor, and he also like drive the ambulance or the caravan to always go to the remote town in Hualien, Taipei. So when they go to this mountain species mountain tribes, so it's always better to have four-wheel drive with them, but the ambulance guys never really. And always ask like, okay, so in out of both Hualien and Taitung County, where do they need doctors, healthcare the most? So when people point him to the certain tribal towns, he just went. You remember? Because it's in a remote town, and so sometimes they so he said that like he sometimes drives faster than usual. So when one of the volunteers kind of complained to master say, oh, so he kind of drive pretty fast in the like remote area, and then he told masters that on average all four wheels didn't exceed 6 miles per hour. So when you look at the photographs, it's a very touching. There are a lot of very touching memories. There are a lot of like elders from the tribal area, like they can't really come out. So even though in the early time when they do free clinic in the remote area, a lot of time that the people who attend the service are actually people who are healthy, not the one who actually need it the most. So they always keep on asking, so where can they find the people who need healthcare, who need like cares for? So a lot of time they have to go into way into the mountains to find the people who needs them. And they also have to wake up really early and then to serve all these patients. But he always felt like he was it's not a burden to him. He was doing it in a very joyful heart and joyful attitudes, and then just like Bodhisattva plays in the human world. So then he learned that a lot of time when you do patient cares, it's not just give them care that they supposed to need. You have to really care for the patients through their angle, through their emotional needs. So a lot of time when they go there, it's not just providing health care. Sometimes they provide social care, sometimes provide social works. One of his professors actually told him that, well, healthcare is only a tool that helps that we could use to help people to live in a healthy lives. So whenever that he goes to remote town, and people like to go with him because everybody else can just chill and then in the car and then eat desserts, but he will just drive, just make sure everybody get there. So one of the very important things for us to go to the remote town for mobile clinic is that a lot of social workers, a lot of volunteers will actually went with us to provide health educations to the younger generation to make sure that they have a better healthcare knowledge and how to take care of themselves. So, and so when they're there, they were taking care of the elders. Sometimes they were have a lot of people, so they don't really know who need help the most. So they've been training a lot of us, the younger generation, like the kids, to kind of like spying on the elders to make sure that to be their eyes to so they could know collect enough information on which elders live in the kind of have like unhealthy habits or what kind of healthcare they actually need and they might not be talking about. So on top of the health education, top of the healthcare they provide, they also don't understand that there's a very important to provide books for kids, children's books for the kids. So to bring books, they wanted the tribal Aboriginal children to actually understand that the importance of education. So only education can actually lift someone from hardship in life. So they also, at some point, they also invite students from Tzu Technology University to teach kids to how learn to study and then to enjoy study. So at some point, they actually have difficult on it because they just have way too many books in a smaller space that they have in the tribal area. So, but they really hope that the book that they bring and the focus on education will help the children to really to make better choice in their life. So the picture that it was the drawing that he asked children to draw was like, so how many people are in your family? How many beer bottles you can find, and how much juju like the kind of like beads thing they chew or beetle nuts, and so they know like which family they need to go first. So he took an opportunities to US to learn to develop further develop his skills and knowledge. So for his PhD thesis, and he wrote that topic. So he really want to help the Aboriginal tribal groups to solve a lot of their healthcare issues and have a better lives. Even in Taiwan, the health inequalities is still a huge issue, and people who lives in Taiwan tend to live a lot longer than people who lives in Taitung, one of the most underdeveloped countries. So through like in recent years, like a lot of students from Tzu University and Tzu Technology University has been going into the remote towns to accompany the others, the tribal people, to help them to get on their feet and then to have like better way of living styles. And he want to do like all rounded like healthcare promotion for the Aboriginal people. In back in the day, when you do when people do healthcare, so a lot of times they're just treating the disease and not seeing the person. So he really want to help to develop a kind of a system, healthcare systems that truly put patients at its center, not disease. And then he also participated in Rwanda's refugee camp work. So for what he studies in the US has helped him to participate in Rwanda's situation. There were a massacre back in the days, and they had about 500,000 people wiped out. So 500,000 people is basically a combined population of Hualien and Taitung County. At that point, that international disaster relief is very new to Tzu Chi, and they still haven't had a lot of experience. So they work with a French team, another nonprofit organizations. They started at Ethiopia and then worked their way to Rwanda. He said that during that time, like there weren't a lot of people who have the having like a lot of experience or like skills to actually do disaster relief like that. So, but nevertheless, they have overcome a lot of obstacles. So they took a lot of vaccines before they entered Rwanda. So when they're waiting in France, so they also took time to learn how the partner French nonprofit organization do international disaster. So they learned that how much preparation those organizations have done. So the suitcase they packed has not just enough materials for assessment. It also like have a lot of like vaccines and have a lot of like medicines that while they do assessments, they can also save lives. So that's what that's something that I learned, like a good lesson for Tzu Chi, and then it also has a good, great influence on the future disaster relief works. He really, when he was a student, he wanted to. He made a vow that he wanted to go to Africa to help out, but he never thought that he will actually have to be in the environment in the refugee camp. Yeah, I've seen a lot of dead bodies. So yeah, so when they arrived the capital airport, when they landed, like, he's like, well, everything looks fine. It's not that bad. So, but he just learned that, oh, well, the airplane was having some technical issues, so they went back to the original airport. So when they finally made it to the capital airport in Rwanda, it was nighttime, and it was just kind of scary. And then he said that the airport is the walls and the glasses are full of bullet holes, and you can see the trace of fighting everywhere, and they have seen like chimpanzee and King Kongs in Rwanda, and but all of them were brutally shot by the humans. When he was there, he doesn't really know what he can do because he doesn't speak the language, and the country is full of light mine at the time. And when people get hurt by the light mine, there really isn't much they could do other than sacrifice some of their limbs. In Asia, Taiwan is one of the territory government like actually respond the call to help Rwanda. So the International Doctors Association was very surprised that they got some support from Taiwan. So that was the pictures for the refugee camp at the time. They have over 200,000 refugees in this camp. This is what the living condition was like, and then it was endless sight of camp. And they not only they were hit by social unrest, they were also hit by all kind of disease, including HIVs and AIDS.
可是，在1天以后呢，他们就停止这种状况，因为太快以后呢，这个传染病就会从难民营送回去首都，所以第2天他开始说，我可以开放给你，可是你要走路回来。走路是从哪里回来呢？从高雄走到台北，距离大概那么远。
So for a while, they have been taking people from the refugee camps to the capitals to treat them, and then but they cannot stop very shortly because due to that the surge in numbers, and then they're afraid it's gonna like bankrupt the healthcare system. So the local government ends up being doing that is that okay, so if you want to go to the city to get treated, I can drive you there, I can give you a ride, but coming home, then you have to do it by yourself. So there's a phenomenon like going back home, there's some people just won't make it.
在路上来讲，我记得那个时候，这个就是我们持续在从高雄走到台北这个路上，就是
He said that he remembered that he feels like he can't really do much to solve the situations, but everything they manage to give or service to provide, it's the necessity of the people need at the time. So there has been so much infection going on, so at some point they cannot just try not to talk during their treatment. So it's sometimes it's easier to treat children because they can't really talk.
那个表情里面，你觉得说比那种哭更闹更笑更难过的一个没有表情、没有感觉的那种画面哈。
There are a lot of kids, children at the time who don't have a lot of facial expression on their face because to them, crying, laughing, it feels pretty much the same.
难民里面呢，大家都躺在地上哈。那这个实际上对我们来讲也学习很多。
And the picture on the left is actually the toilet in the refugee camp. This is also grand lessons for us all.
这个对在医院里面，这个是我们学习最标准的流程。你可能怀疑脑部有问题，我们龙骨水哈要抽。可是，在那个地方，这个反而是更危险。 所以我们知道说我们的训练是不够的在我们的就算你台湾医疗多好，这个难民营里面是完全是不一样的一个状况。所以后来我们在台湾里面
He also learned that the training is not enough because at the time there were a lot of standard practice that they used to be trained to do in the States. Due to the facility incompetence that they cannot actually perform them. So he realized that they need a lot more training. They need a lot of preparation if they ever want to serve people like these refugees. In 1994, he joined Tzu Chi Foundations to Hunan, China for distribution and free clinic. He gained a lot of he gains a lot of trust from the local people. So then he briefly served like his tenures in Tzu Chi University. So they were talking about human-centered approach in healthcare. He said in a digital time that we need to emphasize our humanistic culture. And he went to the Anka River to visit the neighborhood.
我们要学生在实习的时候看到哪一个医师、哪一个学
So
生哪一个同事、同学，他们对别人做了哪些好事，
he said that
真实地把它讲出来。这个简单来讲，就是说口说好话、口吐莲花，把一个人文化里面，我们就说如果做不好事，大家都会讲得很快，是不是好事
So
出
he,
门，坏事
when he
传
was
出去。
in
可是我们希
his
望
teaching,
学
like
生
he
看到
required
医
his
院里面，
students
知道我
to
们去
post
表
on
扬的，
Facebook.
大家
There's
在
like
脸书里面分享，把这
a
个氛围
dedicated
带
account
着也好，这个是好
that
的。
they
后来我
used to
们做了一
post
些
that what
研
they
究报告，
find
我
touching,
们
what
也
they
是把，
find
比如
that
说
is
这位
something is
这个朱医师，
good
你看这个病人怎么
and
做的话，你的学生写
helpful
在 Facebook， 我把这
in
个
in
事
in
情
their
回
practice.
馈给这个朱医师。这个时候呢，我们意思就说原来我的做的被肯定、被看得到，所以这个善的循环就在我们的慈济人文里面，从学生里面开始。这几位都是一个医学教育非常专家。
So he asked his students to observe other doctors' practice, other professors' behavior. So to make sure that to only write down the good one, the one that they know they appreciate and they learn stuff things from.
到最后提到是
So
乐活与善终。
a lot of doctors who read the blog was actually very surprised that people really appreciate a lot of smoking they do. So they're about to run out of time, but they talk a lot about promoting health, better health lives. But there's a huge part of this work is about living well to the end. So life is just like go through a cycle. So you birth, you're born, you age, you have illness, and then you die. So they promote the combination technique for both Chinese medicines and Western medicine. So they are the first one to introduce a system kind of cares or artistic cares and so this is for like a more like a recreational treatment method for the patient and the care like cancer patients. Through interactions in the patient rooms, you really have to be there to really understand how they take care of the patients, what is meant to have human-centered healthcare. Is it being directed or is just a title? What is important is what he had done as a professor, as a superintendent for the hospital.
2025年就要进入整个高龄化，所以这一本呢，从乐活到善终，一定是要请购的一本书。其实呢，署长他刚才点的那些的时候，为什么他在
So in 2025, Taiwan will really move into a aged society. So this book will become very important to before that for us to gain knowledge.
公跟爸爸也都是医生，然后到他3代都是医生，然后这个过程中呢，他曾经回到香港之后呢，就是回到香港要去演讲。
She's introducing Dr. Wang. He's from Hong Kong. He's a third generation doctors in his family.
所以他完全在这块土地上是爱上的哈，而且当时他当大学生的时候，他说他要去台东那边比较偏僻的时候，并没有。
So he was trying to use.
他其实就发了这样的一个愿哈。那这本书里面呢，
You're trying to use Taiwanese to communicate with people, and people being like, okay, just don't try it. Just communicate in Mandarin and English, you'll be fine. So he was totally involved with this land and in this island. So he spent a lot of time to walk into the community.
所以以后捐医院。
He would
拜托您司机捐一捐
do a lot of things, you know, like when doctor usually go to the mobile to mobile clinic, they don't usually have to drive, but he was like fake complaining that, oh well, next time when somebody donating cars, make sure they donate drivers as well.
他们家什么地方？ 来，请用麦克风。
在神桌底下。
对，就他们家网络最稳定畅通的，竟然是神桌以下，所以神明保佑，就把它畅通起来了哦。所以在这个点点滴滴里面，我们在看的时候超有画面的。其实呢，它是因为我们守心愿，然后来到慈济医院的吗？
So sometimes when you go to those places, they have to find like the spot, you know, like spot when your like Wi-Fi reception is the best and was the most stable. So sometimes they actually find it underneath the shrine, so they kind of have to, you know, being blessed by the gods and then to able to get connected online.
我跟好简院长还好，私下忏悔一下。 然后他其实简院长就是讲了一句话，跟他鼓励说，要改变环境不如要改变你自己。其实上人也常常讲这样的一句话，对不对
？So with Superintendent Jian, they actually went to the school together at some point. So Master also told us that if you want to change the world, we have to change ourselves first. So they have some elders teachers came over to hear. He said, it's very important to make events lively for the elders so they can actually enjoy life. So just give a round of applause for the grandpa, grandma who regularly attend the study group. So she said that Dr. Wang has always been the change he wants to see in this world. He has always walked on the path as a role model.
所以你是点子王，
你是孩子王。
我是啊，他就跟我写聪明孩子王。所以当我在看这样的一本书的时候呢，还有包括我们在学校健康促进什么，原来都是他哎。所以再次郑重推荐，把书拿好，一起念。请你今天一定要购买这样的一本好书。
So when she was reading the book, there were so many stories that showcase great, all-embracing love, and really will touch your heart, and really will help you to see more humanity.
我们健康署的署长
this is something, a book you have to read in 2021. It's talk about health promotion for the elders to end the life. So thanks.
敬爱的上人，金色的师父，还有各位师兄师姐，大家好。
I'm the Zizi Free Clinic's doctor. Today I'm going to share with you the safety, the consumption safety of traditional Chinese medicine. So I focus on Chinese medicine today. So there are 5 steps. Stop, listen, stop, look, listen, choose, and use. Where do you want to go? So I want to visit my grandma. So it looks like my grandma knows about, kind of traditional way to heal an illness. So this doctor in the video is saying that, when you have sickness, please do not just go around the local or using the traditional medication that being shared around. You should talk to the doctor, and then you should consult the doctor. But instead, you should also follow the instructions. So there's a little wolf saying that, okay, there's a business. Xiao Hongmao is coming to look for grandma. I think I can get some business here. So I have a very miracle method here. Would you want to buy some? So Xiao Hongmao visited grandma with the doctor. So the wolf or the dog is actually trying to just earn the money without actually providing the real medication. So, when you're ill, you should look for a certified or qualified practitioner instead of just, randomly purchase some medications. So the doctor will assess your background, your allergy, and also your health profile. And then for women, if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you should actually inform the doctor. So, you should stay constant connection with the doctor and provide feedback to the doctor. So needs to make sure you understand how to safely store the medication, make sure that it's not expired. And also make sure that how these medication will interact with other food that you eat. Make sure that you consult the doctor. This will ensure that you can safely consume the Chinese medicines. So the 5 steps: listen to the physicians.
好，那停、看、听、选用，就是我们正确用药的5种步骤哈。停就是我们不要去听信人家的一个介绍或是广告啊来用药。You
should stop improper drug purchase and medication.
正确的诊断来使用正确的药物哈。
So if you are looking for a doctor, make sure the doctor is qualified practitioner. Make sure that you share your condition with the doctor. If you need special eating habits, past medical history, family genetic diseases, and so on and so forth. So specifically for being female, make sure you inform your practitioner or doctor that you're currently pregnant or planning to become pregnant, or if you are breastfeeding. Yeah, because if you're consuming medication when you are breastfeeding, your kids will actually obtain those medication through your breast milk. So feedback to the doctor is extremely important. So if you feel uncomfortable, make sure you let the doctor know. And when you buy, make sure you actually purchase from the certified and qualified sources. So for using, make sure that you go through proper sources. It's not through some kind of recommendation for anybody who's not from medical background. So basically, the Chinese medicines, there are two main sources. One is coming from mainland China or other countries, and the other is from Taiwan. So for those that, for the imported Chinese medicines, the Health Department of Taiwan will actually do a lot of testing. So they'll do the original identification, make sure that there's no heavy metal, and look for pesticide residue or any sulfur dioxide detection. So make sure when we purchase the Chinese medication, you look at the packaging, understanding the instructions, the expiration date, sources, and also the types. Sometimes it can be pills, sometimes it can be raw herbal medicine that needs to be cooked. So today, there are a new type of Chinese medicine. It's called a scientific Chinese medicine. So it is pre-processed into powder or pills, in which you can consume directly, just like the Western medication. But again, make sure if it's scientific medication, make sure you look at the instruction, understanding how much and how it should be consumed. So another aspect is to make sure you understand how to preserve the Chinese medicines. So usually Chinese medicines come with a certain volume that prescribed for certain days, certain number of days. So make sure you do not consume expired medication, which may result in other unwanted side effects. In general, ensure you don't consume medication that more than 30 days. So these are the steps to cook the raw medicines. So make sure you follow the instructions, and also make sure you use the right pots or utensils. Another aspect just to mention, so Chinese medicine have different sauce. Some are plant-based, some are animal-based, some are mineral-based. So if you are vegetarian, make sure you mention that to your doctor, so the doctor can prescribe those vegetarian-based for you. So in summary, 5 steps, stop, look, listen, choose, and use.
好，非常感恩哈，我们一并用掌声。今天刚好主讲者都是3个以往，然后我们的晴跟福田主题乐1月份的话是有人医会，所以会。
So thank you, Dr. Lai. So the three main topics today is actually from doctors. So we have 3 doctors presented today. So let's look at, this is a preview of what's next for next week's study group. Again, before that, these are all the Jingsu products. Beans powders, noodles. So make sure go to your local Jingsu to see whether those products are available. So we feel grateful. If so, let's more diligently do more, contribute more in Tzu Chi works. helping those others who need our help. Wow, we have from Neimong in China, Mongolia in China. So it's actually beneath -6 degrees Celsius. They're still very diligently joining the study group.
And Kaohsiung online book study, the sessions are so rich in content. 你们医网一讲完，他们马来西亚说我们好希望我们马来西亚有这样的医网，那时候去参加 Tima 嘛，要不然叫他们来参加我们的读书
So
会。
these are inputs
所以
from
呢，我们
volunteers from Malaysia.
Very true, broad term. These good doctors around the globe just need to be inspired by this touching story. So we must share widely. 就是其实这些人医王也是要怎么样受到激发的，但是这2位医王应该是天生自然的。好，你去看王英伟署长的书，他真的从小就这样哦。他国中、高中那个，我是觉得他的学生生活也蛮那个。到了一个新地方，他就去拿萨宝撒对。好，视讯连线。
So next week we have Texas volunteers, CEO, and also this coming Friday in Kaohsiung we have some additional sharings in the evening time of Taiwan hours. So this is an additional program in addition to our weekly study group, because Master Chen Yan will be in Taiwan, in Kaohsiung, starting later today. So these are all the presenters for that sessions. And on this January 27, the speakers and this is going into February 3rd, the last study group before the Lunar Chinese New Year. You have Dr. Jian Yuanzang, and also one of our sisters. Okay. Let's put our palms together. Three bows.